Welcome back to Twilight Imperium 4th edition, where I have a bunch of corrections to make. If you've been following along, there's a bunch of things that I've been kind of messing up, and I'm going to try to fix them here at the beginning of this episode, if I can. And so there's a whole pile of stuff. First thing I want to fix up is I have been using the Arboric's production for infantry incorrectly, which means I've been adding 2 infantry for 1 production. It should just be 1 infantry per 1 production. So over the previous bunch of episodes, I gave them an extra. They actually have 2 extra infantry here at Starport. I'm going to remove those 2 infantry because they were ill-gotten by not following the rules correctly. So those 2 are disappearing. There's a bunch of other corrections I have to make, so bear with me. Another one is going to come off of Zobat over here. So we're going to lose 1 from there. That was also done incorrectly. And Thaiba, way up at the top, also going to lose 1 infantry. Okay, that takes care of that. Oh man, I have to read through my notes here. Okay, another one easily corrected is right here. I can't remember, a couple episodes ago, 2 or 3 episodes ago, I had a carrier move in here from the Arboric. They tried taking over this planet. Well, guess what? This carrier only has a range of 1, and it moved from this system. So it's not moving from this system. I'm moving it back. It came with 3 fighters and 1 ground force. It didn't change any of the rolls or anything for damage and such. So that's just a correction there. That would not have moved. Now, it would have been available for this offensive, but I'm not going to bother trying to figure that out. One of the huge errors, though, that happened was over here in this system. Well, yes, the Sardic came in here with an absolute mountain of forces, their flagship, 4 destroyers, a whole pile of stuff. There was a giant dust-up. And then I promptly forgot. There was a Stardock and a PDS on this planet, as well as 6 infantry. Well, guess what happens when you have a PDS on a planet and you have Dreadnought trying to bombard you? They have planetary shield, which means, oh man, the 6 infantry that got bombarded off the planet here didn't. 4 of them ended up back here. So I'm going to be putting 6 infantry. Yeah, you can see where this is going. 6 infantry back onto Quan because that's not a legal move. These dreadnoughts here cannot bombard this planet because we have planetary shield. Only War Suns can bombard planets with a planetary shield, not dreadnoughts. So we're going to have to do this battle, which is kind of unfortunate because there's only 2 ground forces here, and a bunch of units came from here. Anyway, I'm just going to have to leave it as is. 2 ground forces versus 6. So I'm going to get out the dice tray. We're going to re-roll this because it's very likely that the Sardic are not going to take this system, which is going to change the game immensely. So let me get out the dice tray. We're going to re-roll this battle. 2 ground forces Sardic, 6 ground forces Federation of Sol. Let's roll it up. And that has the potential to be huge, as you will see here in a minute. Bear with me. Lots of stuff to try to figure out. Oh, damn it. I screwed up along the way, and I'm trying to fix it. All right. The Sardic ground forces hit on an 8+. The Spec Op 2 ground forces for Federation of Sol hit on a 6+. So the aggressor is going to begin. 2 dice for their 2 ground forces hitting on 8+. A 4 and a 2 is no hits at all. We have 6 ground forces as Federation of Sol hitting on a 6+. We get a 10, a 6, an 8, and a 7. 4 hits. So what promptly happens there is we squash the bugs easily. They have no ability to take our planet. And that's going to change things somewhat dramatically because, let's go over to the Sardic's area, we didn't lose this planet at all. So we're going to take it away from the Sardic, give it back to Federation of Sol. And the bugs were all excited about taking this away from Federation of Sol, and they didn't. So it goes back to Federation of Sol in the readied state as well, because they never lost it in the first place. All right, so the planet comes back under the Federation of Sol's dominance. It's not been taken over by the Sardic, which takes us over to the huge dust-up we had in the last episode with the Arboric pasting the humans over at Starpoint. And I do believe I've got something else to correct before that. Oh man, so many things to correct. I don't even know how to do it. There was 2 human forces that were lost by the plague, but I can't remember if we had spec ops or not. I'm not going to worry about it. Check the notes in the videos because I've got some things wrong. That is also now going to change the planetary landing and issues for the Arboric trying to take over Starpoint. They also now have to try and take over the other planet, New Albion. If they don't, that will leave the Federation of Sol with 16 resources, which would be enough to give them the win. So I'm going to have to get set up again here and kind of redo that battle. Oh, lots of things. Let me get set up here again. I know, correction. This is going to be an episode of corrections. Sorry about that. All right, so in the current situation of the bugs not taking Quan, leaving the Federation of Sol with too much influence, which will basically win the game at the end of the round if they can found the Golden Age by spending 16 resources. We've got to rethink this bombardment here a little bit. There were 2 ground forces here on Starpoint. The War Sun had 3 hits. The Dreadnought had 1 hit. Okay, let's keep this in mind. And there are 3 ground forces. 1, 2... Well, there's actually 4 ground forces on New Albion. And there's 2 ground forces here at Starpoint. So what I'm going to do is, because the Arboric would have to take both systems. They would have to take both. So they would use the War Sun to attack New Albion. And there are 4 ground forces on there, and there were 2 ground forces on Starpoint. Okay, well, let's keep that in mind. Now, they had a total of 2 ground forces with them. In all fairness, they would have taken 3 with them because I took 4 ground forces here when I did the attack, but I didn't have that many ground forces here because I was kind of cheating on their ability to reproduce themselves. So they only have 3 ground forces. Now we have to decide where to commit them to. We would commit 1 to New Albion and have the War Sun attack it because there's 4 infantry there. And we would have 2 go down on Starpoint. And so there's going to be, to try to fix this, which is damn annoying. The Dreadnought does 1 hit on Starpoint, destroying 1 of the 2 infantry. And the other thing I have to keep in mind is that the super soldiers have the ability to come back from the dead and end up at the homeworld. That's another whole thing I'll get into here in a minute. I think my brain is melting doing this playthrough. Apologize. But anyway, this is very crucial, so I wanted to do this properly. All right. And of course, the PDSs don't do anything. There was a Stardock here. And a PDS. Oh man, I gotta fish that out of the bucket here too, because they're not quite gone yet. Where is, okay. Let's get it all set up the way it would and should have been. All right. The other ability that the Arboric have is plasma scoring. Well, let's take a look at plasma scoring. When 1 or more of your units use bombardment or space cannon, 1 of those units rolls an additional die. All right, we are going to have we're going to have 2 infantry going down on Starpoint. We're going to have 1 infantry going down on New Albion. Now, New Albion, we would have 3 hits with the War Sun. That only leaves 1 infantry here on New Albion, and we would have the War Sun take an extra bombardment hit. All right. So it's going to roll 1 die, hits on a 3+, and rolls a 6. All right, so there you have it. This final infantry gets blown off New Albion. The space cannon is destroyed, and the 1 ground force lands on New Albion and takes it over. Okay, so this card is going to go to the Arboric. And in the meantime, face down, this card is still not in the Arboric's hands. But it could be if they win the ground battle. Now this is going to be a crucial thing. They have 2 infantry, Arboric, 1 Sol infantry. Oh man, so let's get into it. The infantry for the Arboric hit on an 8+. They really, really, really need to roll 1 8 here. They roll a pair of 3s. Okay, that is not good. The Earth forces hit on a 6+. Rolling 1 die, they roll a 9. One of the Arboric ground forces is destroyed. We're back at it again. Arboric really need a hit. They roll a 1. The Earth forces roll a 3. Oh man, this is too much. All right, the Arboric, come on, they gotta hit them. They roll an 8. This unit is destroyed. Now, it's all up to the Earth forces. If the Earth forces roll a 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, they roll a 10. So they destroy the 1 Arboric force coming down. So what happens is this planet is not taken over by the Arboric. They didn't have enough ground forces to take it, which means Starpoint is going to stay in the possession of Federation of Sol, giving them 3 resources. Wow. Well, I think we know where this game is headed then. That was pretty crucial stuff. I apologize for the screw-ups, but I wanted to kind of correct it because that was pretty game-changingly crucial, even though it was kind of fun to have the Federation of Sol get their butts handed to them a little bit. It didn't really happen. All right, well, that was a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, a total of 6 infantry that got destroyed by that battle. And so let's go over to the Federation of Sol area. They're going to roll and see if those 6 infantry regenerate and appear on their homeworld. But that only happens on the Federation of Sol's turn, all right? It is in this episode now that I've got things mostly fixed up, although I'm sure there's still some comments and things out there that I've messed up. I really apologize for this. But anyway, carrying on. The Sardic Noir are going to take an action. They're going to take the technology action. It's a last strategy card sitting there. So they are going to do that. So it's basically research a technology. Then they can spend 6 resources to research another one. Are they going to do it? 2, 4? Oh yeah, they're going to do that. They're going to do 2 research. They're going to research and get 2 technologies. Now, spend a token from your strategy research pool. That's the secondary ability for Federation of Sol, Arboric. Neither of them have tokens in their strategy pool. Not going to happen. So, on we go to the bug beasts, and they're going to spend 6 influence, and they're going to research 2 technologies. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and exhaust the planets. They're going to spend 6 resources, so that's 2, and 4, and 6 to build 2 technologies. They're also going to use this yellow, if that's in camera, I hope it is, yellow tech. They already have prerequisite yellow tech with Sarween tools. So they're going to exhaust, well, I shouldn't flip it over. I wasn't flipping them over, I was putting yellow tokens. So they're going to use the yellow tech from that to be able to produce a 2 yellow tech, if you follow my logic. So I'm going to zoom out a bit here. We're going to look at the 2 technologies the Sardic Noir are researching. All right, so I'm zoomed way out. So the first one they're going to research is the lovely plasma scoring. It has no prerequisites, so they can go ahead and do it. When 1 or more of your units uses bombardment or space cannon, which we just saw, one of those units may roll an additional die. So they have researched that. And the second one they're going to research is transit diodes, costing 2 yellow prerequisites. They use their planet that had the yellow on it, and they use Sarween tools, which has yellow, so that's the 2 prerequisite. You may exhaust this card at the start of your turn. Okay. During the action phase, remove up to 4 of your ground forces from the game board and place them on 1 or more of the planets you control. So they're able to just transit ground forces around now when they feel like it. All right. at the start of their turn, so they're able to do that. Does that say an action you may exhaust this card after turn? During the action phase. Okay, but if they pass, they probably can't use it. It's probably going to be irrelevant, because I think we're going to be going... So that was Sardic taking a turn. Up next is Federation of Soul taking a turn. Let's see if there's something they'd like to do. And the Federation of Soul is going to pass, which takes us then to the Arboric. The Arboric have pretty much tapped out everything they can do. They are also going to pass, which then takes us to the Sardic. They're the only ones left. So at the beginning of their current turn, they can use the Transit Diode trick. They're not going to bother to do that. So basically everyone's passing, which takes us, I believe, into the status phase. Here we are at the status phase. The first thing we do, score objectives, starting with the Sardic. And I'm pretty sure the Sardic now are going to score one public objective. They do have two technologies in two different colors. All right, they have the two yellow and they have the two blue. So that, if I can get a token out of here, they're going to score that public objective. They're going to go to 6 victory points. Yay for the bug bladder beasts. They do not have any secret objectives that they can do. They've already done 3 of them, and they don't have any not fulfilled. Okay, that takes us right into the next player, which is, you guessed it, Federation of Soul. Well, yeah, you guessed it. Because I messed up. It looked like things were not going to end, but it looks like the Federation of Soul can spend 16 resources, giving them 2 victory points, 9, 10. First one to 10 wins the game. Let's go see how they're going to get those 16 resources and get 10 victory points. And the Federation of Soul found a golden age. They need 16 resources. I think they can muster it. 3, 7, 8, 9. That'll be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, 16 by spending 2 of those. So you can see, had the Arboric taken Star Point, Federation of Soul would have been 1 resource short of claiming that the 2 victory points founding a golden age. And with that, I know it's kind of anticlimactic, but that's basically it. So I'm just going to zoom back out on the main board, and we're going to wrap up this Twilight Imperium 4th edition series. I apologize for the errors I made along the way, but I hope it was informative and entertaining. So let's zoom out on the big map and wrap up for the series. And there you have it. It doesn't look like the Federation of Soul has won. They only have a destroyer, a cruiser, and a couple of fighters left on the entire board. The Arboric have got a War Sun. The Sardic Noir have their flagship Dreadnought. They have 5 Dreadnoughts. It's just ridiculous. However, the game is not based on how many units you have on the board. It's how many victory points you get. And yes, I will say tactically, oh come on, this if you're faulting my tactics, I apologize, but this was complicated enough trying to keep track of 3 different races, all their special abilities, the technologies pile up, the special units pile up, and there you have it. So it ends with Federation of Soul victory, as I knew it would. Yeah, well, they did jump out into the lead, and I think, had you had 3 people playing the different races, I'm sure the game would have played out quite a bit differently, because it's easier to focus on one race, and you know your own special abilities, you have the plans you're trying to do, which makes this a fantastic multiplayer game. I just wanted to highlight it here on my channel because I really do like it. I played Twilight Imperium 3 probably half dozen times and enjoyed it every time. This is kind of the revamping of the franchise again, and they've simplified a few things, and I'm sure there's going to be an expansion coming out. I certainly hope so. One of the things that is so cool about Twilight Imperium 3, and I suppose it could be incorporated here pretty easily, is the distant suns, which means every planet has an unknown benefit or danger to it. You don't know what it is until you actually land ground forces, or you scan it with ships, fighter ships I think you need to scan the planets to see what kind of dangers are there. And so there you have it. 3-player game. It ended up Federation of Sol, 10 victory points, and the Sardic 6, Arbrick 5. The Arbrick would have gotten 2 victory points, but the game immediately ends as soon as someone gets 10 victory points. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I don't know there's much more I can say about it. I'm sure there's all kinds of reviews and playthroughs and tutorials and everything on this game on the internet. I really enjoyed playing it, even though it gave me a brain burn trying to keep everything straight. And I really, oh man, I totally zoned out with the planetary shield. You cannot use dreadnoughts to bombard a planet that has the planetary shield. You have to just land ground forces. And I even forgot the ground forces landing here need to deal with the cannon on the way down, but that's another thing I messed up. But anyway, I'll end it off here. I've been talking forever. So this, again, Twilight Imperium 4th Edition, fantastic game. Like I said, Fantasy Flight Games, super high production. If you're wondering what the warped tiles were up here, it's not the warped tiles, it's actually the rubber red backing has some ripples in it on that section, and it's kind of lifted the tiles up. The tiles are nice and flat. The quality of all the components, fantastic. The new plastic pieces are really sharp. Sharp as in detail sharp. The other ones from Twilight Imperium 3 are much less detailed. I really, really like their new War Suns. I mean, these things are just awesome. You don't want to step on one, but they're just really cool. Really exceptionally well done. Like the game a lot. Hope to get to play it with friends over summer vacation, which I'm sure we're going to give it a go. So thanks so much. Don't know what else I can say. I've been going on forever. This is the final episode, the end of my Twilight Imperium 4th Edition series. Will I do it again? I don't think so. I don't think my brain could take it. So what am I going to do next? Oh, man. I don't know. I've had a bunch of requests. I've had some people wanting me to do Last Night on Earth, which I did many years ago. I'm kind of tempted to pull out another scenario for that. I'd like to do another scenario of Fallout, a 2-player. Oh my god, I have so many games to play. Aeon's End, I got a whole bunch of bosses to fight there. Just looking around, what else do I have? Star Trek Frontiers, I wanted to do, I've done the first reconnaissance. I wanted to get doing the first sort of where you have to go and find 2 Borg cubes and take them out. I forget what it's called. It's one of the first missions. Star Trek Fleet Captains, I wouldn't mind doing. Romulans and Federation, perhaps. Oh boy, what else can I do? I'm sure you guys have lots of suggestions. There's the Harry Potter. I have Game 6 and 7 to do yet. I really like Battle for Greyport. I've done a couple of series on my channel. I'm going to get back to that again. Colonial Horror, or the Dark Gothic. I'd like to do a cooperative playthrough of that. I've done 2 competitive ones. Looking around. Yeah, lots and lots of stuff. And of course, Baldric's Bumbling Band with the Zombicide Black Plague, which I really enjoy too. So anyway, I don't know what's going to be next. It will probably be a few days or so before I get another series up. This one kind of burnt my mind. Maybe I'll do something really simple next, like Yahtzee or something. Anyway, thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for all your comments, your patience with this series, your likes, your subscriptions. It really means a lot to me. I really enjoy doing this. I hope you enjoy watching the videos. Join me next time for another complete board, card, or dice game playthrough. That's what I do here on my channel. And I hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you in the next series.